we're just going to use the first one that comes up here, which is the tapered foot, and you see it has the letter T here. So that's how it's going to be known in the price book when you start going through here. So what you have, I've never sold a one leg by itself. They do sell them sometimes for just aesthetic supports, but most of the time we're selling two. In my market, what I find that we sell the most of is 2 and 4 leg systems. We do 3 and 5, but usually for whatever reason, we don't sell a tremendous amount of those. But unless you're talking about the Renaissance, and then obviously there's more legs there. But when we look into this price book, you'll see a 2-leg system. And so a 2-leg system, it tells us, is good up to 60-inch wide. Okay. You'll notice here that the standard width is 32, the standard depth is 22, and in this example, the leg is 1.5 inches thick. So there are some 1-inch thick legs, or diameter legs, and 1.5 diameter legs. So this gives you the information that you'll need. So it's a 36 by 24 countertop is what this is designed for. And it can be 1 or 2 sinks depending on the width of it. So that's number one. Pick your step 1. Pick the style system that you want. And like I said, for most of the time for us, it's usually 2 or 4 leg systems that we're selling. So then step 2, you come over here. We have a 2-leg system. It's 1.5 inches in diameter. Then we have 2 options: the LS2T, which is with the rear riser. This is a rear riser. Okay, and then it's LS2TNR, no rear riser. Rear risers are used depending on the type of material that's being used. If it's a console that's mounted to the wall, say like a China console, typically you don't have a rear riser. When it's stone materials, that's usually when you're going to have a rear riser. Okay. So we pick which one of those, and then we pick the finish that we want. And so polished chrome, polished nickel, same price. Satin nickel is the price. Polished brass unlacquered, aged brass unlacquered, and oil bronze. So pretty straightforward, pick our price. Then step 3. So for 2 and 4 leg systems, the size charges are the same, and 3 and 5, they're the same. So for up to, so we said this is 32 inches wide, okay, as a standard, but you can change the size of it up to 36 inches, and we don't charge you anything. If you go less than, that should be less than 32, not less than 36. That's an error. So we would charge you $95 to cut that for you here. Remember, this leg system can be field cut. So if somebody doesn't want to pay that $95, the installer can cut it. And the way the system goes together, his cut mark would be hid. So he just needs to be able to sand the edge of it enough to get it into the connector, or the knuckle is what we actually call it. And then the set screws tighten it down, but there's a good inch of that material that's inside of that knuckle. And then if you want to change the size from 36 inches, if you want to go bigger than 36, up to 42 inches is $110 added to this price up here in step 2. And then again, 48 and 60. You will notice a little asterisk here. And so we're recommending that it should be considered a front riser. So in other words, we would just take one of these small risers and put it in the front here, like in this 3-leg system, but you just wouldn't have this 3rd leg. You would just have the riser. And so we recommend you do that on anything that's 48 or wider. Okay. And so then the same thing applies here for the 3-leg or 5-leg system. And then we come to step 4. And step 4 is where we're going to select our options. And so it tells us that for this series, the T series, which is the tapered foot, these are all the options that are available for you. Okay. Now you're going to skip down And because this is interactive, I can jump forward here to this page, and here are our different options. But remember that we're working with style T. So for style T, this hotel style shelf is available for all styles. It doesn't matter that the T is there or not there. Same for the glass, same for the T. But then we come over here, and because this is the one we picked, the T is available in all of these different options here. Okay, so you don't have to remember what was in that list at the beginning necessarily. You can come here and it will tell you if you can use it or not. And you'll see some products are available in more or all the styles than they are in some of the other styles. And so then you just price out what you need. So obviously, if I'm going to pick a glass shelf, I have to have some way to support that shelf. And now I have three options in that. I have the rail support, which is the first generation that we did, then the low profile support, or I can just use the glass clips. And either one of those work for my style because it's T. Pretty simple there. The same for the hotel shelf, the same for the teak shelf. You have to have something to support it, so it's going to be one of these three that you would pick. Typically, for hotel shelf and teak shelf, it's going to be the low profile is what you're going to choose. The other ones will work, but no, I take that back. This one will only work for a glass shelf and a stone shelf, not the teak shelf. You can see right here it says teak shelf, teak shelf. So you made a mistake on that one. So it would, if I'm using the teak shelf, it would be one of these two options to put the teak shelf in. Okay. Also notice this cannot be used with acrylic leg option. So these two can't be because of the way they attach to the leg, but this one can be because it has a knuckle, so the acrylic would go into each side here, and then it would be able to hold either the hotel style shelf, the glass shelf, or the teak wood shelf, or even a stone shelf as well.